Hello, my loves. Welcome in. Jilly Godward, intuitive mentor and energy healer, empowering you back to your own divine wisdom. So today I want to share a couple of life updates, a few funny stories that hopefully you will resonate with, and also just lean a little bit into money, because the fear is real at the moment and I'm hearing it amongst many of my clients, and I've certainly not been immune to it myself. And I want to dance into a few things around this because we are in the midst of a very interesting time collectively, aren't we? It is the most incredible time to be here. And I often say this and I can't say it enough, because we are really in the times of the new higher vibration starting and this old crumbling. And we can see it everywhere, can't we? It's like so much is coming to light, so much is being seen, so much around the money system, political system is crumbling. And we have this higher dimension that a lot of us intuitives know is coming, but we're not quite there yet. And so we've got this weird kind of in between. And this is where we really come into our choices of our energy. And if you've heard about quantum timeline jumping timelines, this is the time that you're going to see people who are going to be really going into the lower vibration, and those people that are really holding their vibration high. And this is a constant practice, and it is a practice. If you've read Golden Future by Diana Cooper, I really encourage you to read that book, to see a view of society by a very wise woman who I highly regard, that will help you see why all of this is happening and how it could possibly be in the future. I'm not going to go into all of that, but suffice to say, it's a lot more about we rather than I. It's a lot more about community. It's a lot more about shared resource. It's a lot more about joy, music, dance, coming together. It's a lot more about us actually coming back to our own collective empowerment, rather than just having a few people in the world who are holding all the resources and are squeezing us into this tight tunnel at the moment and are doing all the things to bring up all the fear. And, if you look at the reality of what is happening at the moment, and you look at this and that and, all the things that I'm not going to go into, it can seem really like, ooh. And I've done a little experiment just recently, because throughout my life, I have always believed that I will always be taken care of. That is, I've had my money stuff. I've had my money wounding. I've done a lot of work on my money stuff. But I always said to myself, I know that I'll always be taken care of by the universe. I'm collected into the bank of God. I actually told someone at the bank one day when I was asking for a loan, they said, who did you bank with? And I said, the bank of the universe. They were like, where's that located? I said, everywhere. Yeah. Strangely enough, I did get the loan. But, if we drop from that, like there's been lots of times, right, where there's been financial crises. And I remember years ago, I was working for a company, and all the people, because I was repping, and all the retailers were like, oh, it's really hard times. It's hard times. Yeah, it's just really hard. Now, what I would notice, because I'd go to different people, the people that were like, oh, it's really hard, sure enough, their reality would follow what they were saying, and it would be really hard. And a year or two later, their business would be closed. The other people who are like, no, it's going really well. And, I've got a little bit more time to talk to Johnny when he comes in, and it's great. And, making a few changes, getting back into the shop myself, whatever, like just using it as a way for like, what can we figure out here and grow? We're actually doing really well. And I just always thought, I don't actually believe in this, concept of financial recessions, all of that. I actually don't believe in it. I believe that I'm connected to a higher power that is impervious to any and all of that, and that'll always be taken care of, because that is really, Course in Miracles, if you've studied that, read that, Marianne Williamson's early work, Return to Love. It's like, how can you hold yourself in that love when everything else in the world is telling you a different story? And how can you hold yourself in that vibration of love rather than going down into the fear? And the truth is, we're all going to dip and dive in these times that come, because things are going to seem really tough. And the reality, as I said before, is going to be like, oh gosh, that's really expensive, or food's getting really expensive, or this is blah, 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 blah. However, we can still hold the reality without dropping our energy and becoming like, because this is what the powers that be would like. They would like us all to get scared and to get really afraid and to go into fear. Because when we're in fear, we're in survival, we're in anxiety, we can't sleep. We tend to make decisions that are based in fear. I always talk about what's the POC, or the point of creation, that you created something. And if it's started from fear, like, oh God, I need to do this saving, or I need to invest in this, or I need to get this job. If it's from that place of like constriction, you're going to feel it in your body. And the results, because the light is getting so much stronger, and because we live in this quantum universe, we live in a simulation, we externally will give us exactly what is going on in here. So it's really important to keep ourselves really connected to the divine, and to remember that, whilst things might look a bit dodgy, I mean, I've never known how much it costs to fill up my car. Like, okay, maybe I've known, like if it was $50 to fill it up, I'd be like, yay. And if it was suddenly $400, I might be like, hey. But, I've never known the price of per litre. I don't really care. I just pretend I have a company car. It's actually my car, but I used to have a company car many, many moons ago. So I just pretend I've still got a company car. In my mind, I'm like, it's on the company, and I work for the divine. So I'm always provided for from many different ways. Like, I'm literally employed by the divine to do the divine work, which we all are, not just me, just all of us. We all are employed by the divine, and we're all here, and we think work is this and that, it's on this time and this, but actually our work is all the work. Our work, when we're in love and when we're in joy and high vibrational states, and when we're shining our light, and when we're lit up and sharing and, holding a space for someone with love, that's the work. That's the work. It's not about going to work and doing this. That's what we think, and that's what we've been told to think, and that's what we've been crushed into thinking. But abundance can come from so many different forms. So I'm going to tell you a little story about, I went into a little dip recently, and I decided that I would go and I would actually see how much we were spending on food per week. Because what I was doing, and I know it's naughty, was I was going to the supermarket about probably 3 times a week, and I was going to a more expensive supermarket. So I thought, I'm going to I'm going to go and I'm going to do one shop, both because of it'll probably be cheaper, but also because it's just a better use of my time. It's just going too often, and then we'd get extra stuff. I didn't really need it. And it's about respecting money. It wasn't about me going, interfere. It was just about me going, no, I'm going to respect it. So anyway, I thought I'll go and I'll actually see how much it costs to do the weekly shop. And I went and I was like, whoa, that's quite a lot of money. And before I'd kind of been like, we're spending that much and that much. And it didn't seem so much because it was over 3 little bits. What I noticed, which was really interesting, was rather than making it feel like more abundant, it actually felt more restricted. And what I remembered was back in the day when I used to go on a diet and count calories or whatever horrible things I used to do to my body back in the day, it would make me want to eat more, or it would make me more aware of it, or it would make me feel like really constricted. And I've always had this ability just to flow, like there'll always be enough. It's very annoying probably to be married to me, because I just always say, I just trust there'll always be enough. There'll always be more than enough, in fact, is what I say. And there always is. There always, we don't live this lavish lifestyle. And I've always thought I can't really talk about abundance because I'm not as perhaps abundant as some other people. However, what I've realized, and what I talk about, and there's a course inside the Intuitive Tapping Process course about abundance, is that your abundance is not just about your money and your bank account and your assets. It's obviously, like, hello, Jill, it's obviously about so much more than that, like your vitality, your joy that you're having now, your health, your well-being, your relationships. All of that is about your abundance. Like, I could be working in a job and, I was on the corporate ladder, so I could be earning hundreds of thousands of dollars, company car, all of that, if I'd chosen to go down, but it would have killed my soul. It would have literally killed my soul. And I see people who may have a lot of money, but they may not have a lot of vitality. And I'm not saying it's one or the other. You can always have everything and more and anything in between. All I'm saying is that when you're doing something from a place of fear, that is the overriding frequency that you will then get back. So me with my little going to the cheapest supermarket and doing the one thing and then actually recording how much I spent and going, whoa, that's quite a lot of money, actually made me feel really restricted. And I thought, I don't really feel like this is working for me. And then I was like, I was actually thinking, how are people like how are they actually living? Like I was actually thinking that. How do people actually survive on the basic kind of amount of money? Like, this is ridiculous. This is like, we're really getting compressed. And it really reminded me of that whole thing of we have to be really mindful of our thoughts and our feelings. And we have to be really mindful of keeping our vibration really high, especially in these times, because that fear level of consciousness perpetuates and creates more to be scared of. And if you want to be scared at the moment in the world, believe me, you will find a million things to be fearful of. You can be aware, or you can be, what was I saying to someone the other day? Not so much like submerged by it. Like you can know about it, but not actually be completely annihilated by it. So it's one thing to be aware. It's another thing to be completely feeling it all the time. So anyway, last night, I had this problem with my email and I couldn't send from my email account. And it was late at night and I was trying to send an email to a client and I was like, this is weird. I can send it on my phone. I can't send it on my computer. It was all really, really strange. And I didn't know what was going on. I was like, technical stuff. I was calling in the angels, wasn't getting any assistance. Where are the tech angels when you need them? And I was a bit frustrated about this. Like normally if I ask for help, it'll come through. But the universe is like, yes, we know exactly what you need to do. And we know exactly what needs to come up for you to really clear this. Because what I realized is there was a part of me that was feeling frustrated with the tech, but I was also thinking, oh my God, I hope I haven't been hacked. Like, what if I've been hacked? And what if people can see my customers' emails, which generally I delete after a week anyway, or after I've read them. But, I was really having this real freak out and it was really like completely unfounded. So I was doing some clearing, did a bit of meditation, went to sleep, thought nothing more of it, thought, okay, it's fine. I'll leave it. Tomorrow morning, everything will look better. I'll just have another look at it in the morning. And then I woke up about 2 a.m. in the morning, odd time to wake. Normally it's 3:33. And I had this paralyzing fear, like literally felt like I couldn't move. And I could feel my breath was really, really shallow. And I was trying to do all the things like activate the left and the right brain. I was kind of doing this. And I was so tired as well that I didn't really want to get out of bed, but I kind of knew that I needed to. And after about an hour of lying there in what I would call is basically hell, that feeling of being frozen with fear. And I didn't even really know what it was, but it had come from some sort of feeling of fear around maybe being exposed, maybe old persecution wounds around having things written down, people finding out things. But I could also feel that fear around that kind of constriction, that fear that, and there's lots of things. I mistakenly read someone's email that they'd posted about the whole, I'm not even going to say his name, but that whole thing that's unfolding about the children. And it's just, I mistakenly read it and I'm so sensitive that, yes, part of me knows about it and I think it's important to be informed, but it was just, I was reading it late at night and I kind of went, oh my gosh, like it really affected me. And then, so I was lying there and I was literally in this state of paralyzed fear. And finally I got up, went to the toilet, had a drink, took a homeopathic remedy and just said to myself, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So I was just like, holding my heart and it's like, Julie, it's okay. It's okay. I was finding it really hard to access that calm, adult, loving voice that I've cultivated for a very long time. And so I woke up this morning and I thought, I'm not going to go and see if my email works or not. I'm going to go to my happy place, which is nature. Nature is my church. So I went to my beautiful beach, my local beach here, which is stunning. I never ever tire of it. I've lived here for 20 years. It's just absolutely divine. And I'm doing my walk and I'm with nature and I'm touching the trees. And then I'm listening to a podcast and she's talking about receiving really clear signs. And I said, okay, universe, give me a really, really, really clear sign that you're here, that I'm supported. And I walked down this pathway to go and sit on the beach and meditate. Blow me down with feather. If I didn't, completely fall over on my butt. My legs went out from underneath me at the final. It's not a step. It's kind of like this path that sort of drops down. I thought there a million times and it's been fine. My legs came out from underneath me. I landed and then I just burst out laughing. I was like, oh my God, that's quite funny. Like literally asked for a sign, literally fell on my ass. And then the weirdest thing happened. And I shit you not, this actually did happen. I am not making this up. A seagull started laughing. I know. I was not on any mushrooms or anything. I do not do drugs. A seagull started laughing. I've heard seagulls, they squawk. This seagull was standing there, and I swear to God, it was looking at me, and it was going, so I start laughing even more. And then I sit and meditate, and I'm just giggling away to myself, and I'm going, okay, universe, I get it. You put me on my ass. It's all just a big, massive game. Have a sense of humor. Lighten the fuck up. Stop taking everything so seriously. Move out of the fear. Keep the vibration high. All the things. You're being supported. You're in this gigantic freaking simulation movie, whatever you want to call it. And, this is just really, really clear. And then the story gets even trippier. So remembering this is the place I swim often, probably 4 or 5 times a week. Done my meditation, cold in the light. I go for my swim. And I'm getting into the water. And suddenly these fish, which I've never seen fish like it before in my life, a school of fish really close in, starts doing these jumps like that. It was literally like fish were flying. And I didn't study the Bible. I'm not religious, but I just kind of got, oh my God, that whole thing about turning what was turned into fishes and loaves. It was like a Jesus moment. It was like flying fish, abundance everywhere. So then I'm swimming with the fishies and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so trippy and cool. And the water was beautiful and it was amazing. Came home, sat down, thought, right, I'm going to figure out this email thing. It still wasn't working. No fear though. No fear around it. I was just like, it's okay. You know what? If I have to change email, so be it. It's not a big issue. Within about 5 minutes in that energy, I had worked it out. It was to do with the links on my signature that apparently I had too many. I had about 10. I don't think that was sure it never was before. But so it just kind of all flowed. And I just thought that was a really interesting story about just looking for signs, asking for signs, really funny signs sometimes that, we think it'll be this or we think it'll be that. But sometimes it's just the universe literally putting you on your ass and making you laugh at yourself and your kind of fears or your constriction. And the other thing that I wanted to share was over the weekend, check out this dress. Oh, how cute is this dress? Can we see that? Okay, it's not actually looking so cute there, but it's quite short, but it's quite cute. And I really like it. And it's just a little op shop find that I got. I know, right? So this is abundance in all of its forms. I actually got 5 dresses for, I think, $32. 5 dresses. You'll be seeing them over the course of the coming videos. It was like abundance comes in all types of different ways. And I just felt cool. I was driving past this little place and I pulled on in. They had a $1 rack, $1. I got 2 dresses for $2 and a pair of leather beautiful shoes for $1. Three. I mean, come on. And the universe was again reminding me of like how we live in so much deep abundance that comes in so many different forms. And if we're open to it and we're smiling with it and we're like, I wonder what else could come to me. And I'm so grateful for what I have and what an abundant, incredible universe that we live in. You know, because this is me, like, I have to share my story about me and finances. Like, I've always kind of, I don't know, I've just found, like, if you want to put me to sleep, put me in front of an accountant. Because I will literally, I can remember like sitting there with my accountant who wanted to review my accounts from the year before and talk to me about provisional tax. And I just said, I just can't. Like, you know, I will be awake at 3:33 most nights. But if you want to put me to sleep, start talking to me about that stuff. Because it is so fucking boring. Like, seriously, my accountant now is great. Because I just email and it's just done. She just does it. She doesn't talk to me. And that's great. I don't need to know anything. Like, it'll just all be fine. Some might say that I'm just avoiding finances, but to be honest, I just find it really low vibration, the whole thing, and I can't wait for the whole money system just to fall down. It's going to be great. So I think that's everything. My dresses, asking for a sign. I did make some notes. Fears. How do we keep our vibration high in the current climate? Read The Golden Future by Diana Cooper. See what is coming. Feel into whether it feels relevant to you. I'm actually looking at over the top of this at my vision board for 2026, and on there I have a unicorn. And I was thinking today, when the fish were flying, when the seagulls were laughing, when I was being put on my ass, that if a unicorn had flown across the sky and dolphins had started doing 360 jumps, I wouldn't have actually been surprised. It was kind of that morning. And I mean, I think I've shared before about the time that many years ago I was lying on my bed sobbing my eyes out, and I reached into my pocket for a tissue, and out came a praying mantis that had been sitting inside my pocket. What the hell? And it made me go, hey? And I've always loved praying mantises because I believe, you know, they're like, remember to pray. Remember to pray it away. Pray the fear away. Keep asking. Keep open. Keep abundant, keep expanded. Don't allow the lower energies to constrict you. Don't allow the fear to come in. Find the light in every moment. Keep going in that abundant way. Keep living as if there's an abundance. And the abundance will be different for every one of you, but it's a feeling and a vibration. And it has a sense of rebelliousness, and it has a sense of sovereignty, and it has a sense of inner safety and trust. And it's not about this or that or the other. It's about the vibration. You can feel it, can't you? You can absolutely feel it. So I'm sending you so much love with this. I'm so excited for what's coming through on Sunday. If you're listening to this live, I'm going to be doing a group live webinar, which will be a collective update. We're going to do a transmission. It's exciting. I can feel the energy already coming through. It's at 7:45, probably to 8:15 or 8:30 on Sunday night, and it's going to be live on this YouTube channel. You can just get the link by signing up to my email address or sign up on Facebook to the Google form. I think that's all that I need to say. I'm sending you love.